Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something.
Everybody on this earth has had their fair share of people who try to put a cap on their potential. I know I have, especially when people tell me there's no way I can drink that many beers. Anyway, Stephen Curry, before he reached superstardom, had people doubting him left, right, and center. These people tried to put a lid on Chef Curry, and today we're going to shake and bake them, whatever that means. We will call in first one of our favorite big men to ever play the game. He has 4 NBA title rings and a lot of words. Shaquille O'Neal, who played in the NBA for 19 years, is currently a sports analyst who long ago used to hate on Steph Curry. And listen, guys, Shaq admits this himself. Now, Shaq doesn't just break rims, but he also tries to break spirits too, even though not intentionally, as he claims it to be the opposite of breaking spirit. However, we have heard him throwing dirt on Donovan Mitchell earlier this season when he declared to Mitchell that he doesn't have what it takes to take his game to the next level.
You don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I want you to hear it. What do you have?
Now, even though he didn't openly voice his skepticism for Curry like he did Mitchell, the Shaq attack, however it came, couldn't sway the chef. We all know what he's cooked so far in the NBA, and Shaq didn't shy from admitting his wrongs on the All the Smoke podcast show with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. The repentant big man stated, "I used to hate him early on in his career. He ain't gonna make it. But he kept proving me wrong, and that's why he's my best player. I like being proved wrong. So my message to these young cats, when I say something, prove me wrong." So there you go, Donovan. Prove Shaq wrong too. Guys, here's a clip of Shaq showing his new fondness for the chef, even though in an awkward way.
Where's my finger? This is what Steph Curry reminds me of when I see him. He reminds me of a cute little baby boy.
And then the great MJ said this about Curry, but we are not going to take him too seriously.
I hope not. He's still a great player. Not a Hall of Famer yet, though. He's not.
All right, guys, let's call in Matt Shetler for Bleacher Report, who in 2012 wrote an article he titled Stephen Curry and 13 Players That Will Never Reach Their Potential. Damn. Just damn. It's kind of heartbreaking to read that out loud, but also quite celebratory because we all know how wrong Matt was about our beloved Curry.
No, God!
Who keeps spicing up our basketball experiences with great shots, unbelievable record-setting and breaking shows, and general uniqueness of spirit and character. Nevertheless, on the disparaging list with our beloved Steph were John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Evan Turner, and some other players who Matt's prediction, to be fair, didn't entirely fall short on. However, it did on the greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry. Matt wrote that Curry has the potential to be great and is off to a good start to his career. Unfortunately for him, a troublesome, reoccurring ankle injury might not allow that to happen. But if we were to ask Curry how his ankles were faring, he would probably say something like, great, thanks. And if he doesn't speak to us because he'd think that clearly we should know, we can simply just check his stats to get an even more detailed account of his ankles and overall health. Another sports analyst, Grant Hughes at Fansided, had this to say after Curry got a $44 million contract for 4 years. The Golden State Warriors shouldn't give Stephen Curry a big contract extension yet. If he wants to agree to a deal well below market rate, great, sign him up. But if he's looking for anything approaching max money, forget it. You know what, guys? Sometimes I feel like these guys are just plain jealous. Nevertheless, as usual, Curry took this up as a challenge. It felt like all the doubts surrounding him about the contract extension were fuel to his cooking abilities as he ended that season with a record highest three-pointers made in the season. He also had a career-high 54 points against the Knicks. And from then onwards, it's been one record-breaking show after another. I don't know about you, but we are feeling rather great about the show so far. There's no sweeter response to hate or doubt than one done not with words, but with a clear, effective action. And our boy does it so well on the court. Now, do you guys know what we at Hoop Reports love doing? Well, we love traveling down memory lane, especially to pick up words or actions that we can throw in the faces of doubters. So let's take you guys on a little trip to the 2009 NBA Draft, which was held at the WaMu Theater at Madison Square Garden, New York City. Before June 25th, 2009, when the draft was held, there were a lot of talks from scouts and analysts alike, among of which were some skeptics who called Steph a tweener. They questioned his fragile physique, his size, his athleticism, his shot selection, and even his speed, and wouldn't even liken his equality to that of J.J. Redick, saying he wouldn't come close to J.J. But years after, Curry proved everyone wrong in a sweet, in-your-face way, winning back-to-back league MVPs and 3 NBA championships. He was quoted in the Players Tribune as saying, "I remember Doug Gottlieb was a major draft analysis at the time, talking about how there were 6 other point guards in my class with a higher upside than I had. SportsCenter put up a tweet with his comment on it, and I guess someone found that tweet a few years later once we started having success in Golden State, so now it gets recirculated every so often." That's it, Curry. Let them know now. Let it sink painfully in like your three-pointers from deep. Another draft report from a Coach Up commercial declared, "Stefan's explosiveness and athleticism are below standard. He's not a great finisher around the basket. He needs to considerably improve as a ball handler. Stephen must develop as a point guard to make it in the league." Guys, Curry is one of the fanciest ball handlers in the NBA. We can ask Chris Paul, who has witnessed his ball handling abilities firsthand, to confirm this.
And the bench is loving it. Coming at Chris Paul, takes it.
Whew. We have spent enough time digging up dirt thrown on the potential of Curry from way back. But guys, do you know some misanthropes? Even after Curry had bagged 3 NBA titles and recorded more three-point and shooting records than anyone who has ever played in the league, still had the audacity to belittle Curry's unimaginable quality? They said he couldn't do it without Clay and Durant by his side. They said he was overrated. But so far, fellas, the chef is averaging 31.3 points per game, has broken the record of three-pointers made in 1 month, and is in strong contention for the MVP title. This is vindication for those times Curry's MVP honors back when were criticized as undeserving because he played amongst superstars in Clay, Iguodala, Green, and later Durant. Curry has had to battle through many skepticisms, even in his early years before he got into the NBA. In an interview, he said it himself. He said, "Growing up, I was a skinny kid who wasn't very tall, especially for a basketball player. Not tall enough," they said. "Not strong enough," they said. "Won't be able to guard bigger, stronger players at the next level," they said. If we were going to go back again, but a lot further this time to 2001 when Curry was just a little kid trying to ball on the court, we would be brought into the office of Coach James Lackey, his first coach in school, who at first glance thought Curry was inappropriate for a basketball player because he was scrawny and not at all like the 6'4" NBA super kid. The coach had said he felt disappointed until he saw him on the court, and we are guessing he was blown away by the kid's performance. Anyway, Lackey mentioned in an interview recalling one of his games as a coach of the Queensway Christian College Saints. His team was undefeated at the time, but in that particular game was getting beat up really bad, which forced Lackey to call a timeout. In the timeout, he said he remembers asking his team what they think should be done because he had ran out of ideas. Then Steph Curry, 13 years old and skinny, at the time hollered, "Give me the ball, and we'll win." "You heard him," shouted Lackey. "Give him the ball and get out of his way." And indeed, they won the match. You know, sometimes it may not be entirely fair to blame these skeptics because Curry had come to change the game from what people were used to seeing. Prior to Curry, nobody ever dared to make over 300 three-pointers a season or shoot from 30 feet out at a higher frequency. They never saw a guy of his stature come into the NBA and dominate, but they saw his stats from Davidson. They saw his spirit and drive, yet they doubted that. And because of that, we've come today to gather all the doubters in one shot so we can do the famous Curry shimmy dance in front of them.
He starts the dance. You know it was good as soon as he left his hand.
It's been such a great, enjoyable show, guys, and we'd like to know what you guys thought of it. We'd also like to know if you know anyone else who ever doubted our beloved shooter. But before we go, let's leave you with what Curry said once in an interview. We hope this motivates someone out there. No matter what was said or who said it, though, I always blocked them out, all of them, and kept training to play the game I love. When I turned 13, I started doing private workouts with coaches, and it became clear very quickly that they were there to motivate me in ways I hadn't thought possible and to increase my drive to develop my game.